Welcome back to another episode of the Smith Boys Podcast. Click and take brother. Woo-hoo! Boy, we got an interesting one tonight.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year's Eve to you too, brother. We got an interesting, a conspiracy theory driven. We have a league full of inept officiating driven podcasts to do tonight, brother, because initially, as this game was over, we thought the Detroit Lions kind of SOL'd this game away. After they had marched down the field and scored a touchdown, went for two, and got it, and then didn't get it, and then had a penalty, and then got a new penalty on that, and then went for... There was three different options they had to go for two. And they ended up losing the game to the Cowboys.
Or just kick the field goal and take your chances in overtime.
Right, with about like 25 seconds left. So the Lions ended up losing the game, what was it, 20-19?
Yeah.
To the Dallas Football Cowboys, America's team.
Wrong.
Yeah.
And this game was shrouded in controversy at the end, so much so that clips of this game were coming up on my Instagram reels. Like,
quite a bit, like almost immediately.
Like immediately all night long, and the following morning as I'm laying in bed scrolling through reels on Instagram, I'm getting videos of the piss poor officiating and the faulty check-in, apparently, between Taylor Decker or Dan Skipper.
Well, Penny Sewell was over there too. The official's there. It's almost like the official sees them running. I mean, he sees them walking towards them.
Well,
and then he's almost like sprinting away from them.
You could see Goff is telling number 68 Taylor Decker to report as eligible to the referee. You see him here point to the ref's direction, and off he goes. Then this next clip from an aerial view, you can literally watch Decker and number 58 and a trailing Penny Sewell, who's number 70, all confront the ref. And as Decker makes his way to the referee, he appears to be making a hand gesture to his chest or stomach area to report to the referee.
We knew it was going to come down to the wire, and thought our defense played really well today. You know, minus one play that was in our hands. You know, we did, but we were there to make a play. We didn't. And but other than that, I thought we did some really, really good things. Got off the field, got a takeaway. Offense, 1:41 on the clock, no timeouts, lengthen the field, score, and go for two. We get it, and we get an L. So it's probably the way the guys fought. We just made too many critical errors there to where it shouldn't have come down there at the end. Look, credit to them. They played hard. You know, we knew they would. They'd give us their best shot, and they play well at home. They did again. And we'll see them in a couple of weeks. Be good.
Yeah, what's the explanation you got on the 2-point?
70 reported.
Yeah. Did Decker report as well?
Yeah, the explanation was 70 reported.
Did Decker report?
Yes.
And do they need to announce that if both players report?
Two people can't report. I don't want to talk about it. All right? I explain everything pregame to a T. Okay? I did that. 70 reported, 58 didn't, or 68 didn't. We threw it to 68. That was the explanation.
Okay. Can you just explain the mentality to go for two there at the end? Obviously, you wanted to keep the game in your hand and try to win it.
I told the offense that we were going down, 1:41 left. We're going to go down and score, and then we're going to go for two and finish this game out. I told them that, and so that's what we were doing.
And being backed up, that didn't change anything when you get backed up to the
Backed
seven,
up where?
To the 7 instead of the 2 from the 2-point play. Did you think at all?
We were going for the win.
So you see Taylor Decker and Penny Sewell kind of already conversing with the official a little. It's like they're walking towards the official, maybe only had a second or two to get a couple of words out before the official clearly looks behind him and sees Dan Skipper running up to him from the sideline.
Right.
Like Skipper is jogging into the field up to the official.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but historically, I always remember when a player declares himself as eligible, back in the day, they would always the ref would always come on the microphone and say, number 68 is eligible.
Yes, I remember that as well.
So why, every time I can remember, but last night was different. No, and I think I've seen that one other time, and I don't know if there's been a rule change where they don't have to declare, all they just have to tell the defense.
I think
I don't know.
the quarterback or like the captain of the offense has to declare it to the official who is eligible, and they, I guess, at least report it to the defense. I don't know if they have to announce it to the stadium anymore. I don't think so. I don't think they have to go out and say number 68 is eligible over the intercom to the whole stadium.
Because that used to be what they
Yes,
had to do.
I feel like that is what they used to have to do. But so Dan Skipper comes running in, and it's almost as if the official kind of turns away from Decker and from Sewell, sees Skipper say something to him, and I'm assuming what happened was a miscommunication of the referee assuming Skipper was the one checking in, and then the referee immediately just kind of jogs back to the line of scrimmage. Now, this is an issue because apparently Dan Skipper had been checking in as eligible all night long at different points throughout the game to the official.
Right.
So add in one more time late in the game, after he had been jogging up to the official checking in all night long, to the official, this is probably no outside of the realm of normal circumstances in the course of this game. He sees Skipper running in. Skipper's the one checking in. However, Taylor Decker is the one that the ball went to and scored the 2-point conversion. Now, I had also heard Dan Campbell had
met with the
officials before the game and said, look, this is the game plan. This is what we're going to do. Skipper is going to check in
multiple times,
and then we're going to run this one play where Decker is going to be the guy that checks in and is eligible to catch the ball.
Right.
Which is exactly what happened on that play.
Yeah.
The 2-point conversion was good.
Yeah.
Lions basically win the game with 20 seconds left. Oh, boy, brother. The NFL officiating, still nobody, they've taken no accountability for this from what I've seen. The national media is destroying the NFL officiating over this because the Lions straight up got screwed, and the Lions should be a number 2 seed in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it cost them in this, is they went from being the 2 seed to the 3 seed immediately upon losing this game.
Right.
Give me your take on. I kind of summed it all up there for the viewer.
You did a good job.
Give me your
that's
take
where
on
we're
it.
at. That's where we're at. Basically, I don't know, almost 24 hours.
I don't want to put it all on that though, because Goff played terrible.
Yeah, Goff did throw 2 picks. He did not have a great game.
Like, I don't want to say that one play cost you the game, that one call cost you the game, because Goff threw 2 costly interceptions. The defense was good enough to win. However, the offense kind of sucked all night. I didn't think they ran the ball very well with Montgomery in the game. Gibbs did run the ball fairly well. St. Brown was a dog. St. Brown did what he does. Laporta was kind of a non-factor. He had a drop ball that we questioned, that I had pointed out, and I said everybody loves to slobber all over Laporta. And don't get me wrong, he's been a great player, but Brother and I have seen Laporta drop a lot of pretty easily catchable balls throughout the year. I would say 4 or 5 throughout the year. Pretty, for somebody that gets called sure-handed or whatever and gets lauded as this great draft pick and having a great season, which he is, we've seen him drop some pretty easy balls that have cost him first downs here or there.
Yeah.
So there is some blame on him a little bit because he cost them some first downs, but the Lions didn't play well on offense regardless of the conspiracy of the last play of the game. More than that play is what cost them this game. They were in this game to begin with because of how poorly they played on offense throughout the game.
Yeah, they just couldn't really do much offensively. I mean, and I think a lot of credit to Dallas's defense, though. They had Goff under duress quite a bit. The offensive line did not do a very good job, I thought, of protecting Goff and giving him a whole lot of time. St. Brown did what he did. Laporta made some nice plays, but he did have a drop in that first. It was like the first drive, or wasn't it? First or second drive, and it was like a 3rd down play, and it was like, damn, dude, like that's a play you got to make, and that's what we were talking about. But he did make a nice play to J-Mo. I think that was a 50-yard throw in the air. I think I counted. J-Mo was wide open, man. He made the play. So I felt like the Lions played good enough to win this game, and clearly they did. They surprised me. I thought they played better than I thought that they were going to go down there. I thought Dallas was going to really kind of whoop them. And
well, we had a high-scoring game. I had 31-28, Cowboys winning.
I had 31-24.
31-24, Cowboys winning. So we both had Cowboys winning this game. And the Cowboys were 6.5-point favorites coming in.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a little high. I didn't think.
CeeDee Lamb had himself a game.
Yeah. So did Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott threw for 350 and a couple
CeeDee
touchdowns.
Lamb had a couple hundred yards receiving.
Yeah, and that's another thing is with the defense. The defense didn't play bad overall because they kept Dallas kind of off the scoreboard. Cam Sutton sucks. He got his ass fried like a chicken. Voldemort sucks. Or Vildor.
Vildor.
He sucks.
Yeah, he's not even good.
This team needs Gardner Johnson back desperately.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of a dog on that defense. He's a good cover guy. He's physical. He talks a lot of trash. Melifonwu was good, yeah. He had that interception. He's played well in the last few weeks.
He did miss that one play, though, in the end zone. He just couldn't keep up with them.
He got burnt by
Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
I can't believe he's even still playing.
I can't either, but he looks phenomenal still.
Yeah, he had a great catch, I think it was last week against the Dolphins, too, I think. But you had mentioned that you think Aaron Glenn should be fired.
Well, coming into the game, I was kind of like leaning that way. And then there were certain parts tonight where it was like, you got CeeDee Lamb and you got him like single coverage on Voldemort or whatever, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? And that was like, there was this multiple times.
That was the 92-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it wasn't so much like the front seven, but it was like the back five. You know what I mean? It was like the secondary. I was like, man, what are you doing? Like, the coverages don't make any sense. Like, got guys wide open.
3rd and 12 from their own 8-yard line. Derek Barnes comes blitzing in like a maniac.
He doesn't even know.
With his hair on fire.
Totally out of control.
Has a free
doesn't
shot.
Doesn't even have his arms up. And
has a free shot at Prescott and totally whiffs on him. Prescott breaks out, scrambles to the side, throws on the run.
Fucking boom!
To a wide open CeeDee Lamb for a 92-yard touchdown because Voldemort was covering him.
Yeah.
You got a top 5 to 10 wide receiver in the league being covered by a guy that should be bagging my groceries at Kroger.
Yeah, but I mean, Hutch had a pretty good game. He had 3 sacks.
He had 3 sacks.
He popped.
He went his 7 games doing nothing, and then had his 3-sack game, and now he'll fade into oblivion, and you won't hear about him until week 4 next year, where he has another 3-sack game. That's what he does.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of a little bit of his MO.
So back to the call then, brother, that cost him the game, because the officiating has been atrocious all year long in multiple games. This was the same officiating crew that has been noted in 4 of the worst officiated games throughout the NFL this year.
Dad said,
There was I know for sure they were the same crew that was in the horrific officiating of the Sunday night game between the Eagles and the Dolphins earlier this year, where the Eagles beat the Dolphins, where the Eagles had like 4 egregious penalties that were not called against them late in that game, where the Dolphins probably should have won the game if those penalties were called, and they didn't call any of them. And then there was one, it was the Chiefs and somebody.
Just say the Chiefs, and it's a poorly officiated game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
But this officiating crew, Dad said that this guy had been suspended before, and he's not allowed. He'd been banned from officiating college.
Yeah, in college, I think it was just poor judgment or something like that. It was the ruling, and now it's like, okay, why would you put him in the NFL then? Why would you have him doing NFL games? I think the NFL's got a real officiating problem, and it's really it's been turning me off to football across the board in the last few years.
Here's your problem with the officiating in the NFL and in college, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned.
Now we go to school.
You have these 22 to 30-year-old kids and men that run 4.2, 4.4 40-yard dashes that are physical specimens running at full speed along the field, and you have these 50 to 60-year-old men that are out of shape, out of shape and overweight that can't keep up with my nieces in the backyard, let alone fully grown men running 4.2 40s down the field. So they're most likely always behind the play as it's developing.
I just don't think
you can't find like in shape 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds.
I think that's a part of the problem. It's not the full problem though. I mean, it's like, I think part of it is how they let the moment dictate how they officiate. There's no consistency from game to game because moments are changing all the time, you know? And you see it in college, you see it all the time in the pros, and it's really to the point where you know, they become the story, and then nobody takes any accountability. Nobody, you know, the NFL should come out and issue an apology at least issue an apology. Say they're not going to change it. Okay, fine, but at least acknowledge that like it was bad.
Yeah, acknowledge that this officiating crew effed up.
Yeah, and then you suspend that guy and you deal with him, you know, in a different way. You look at him under a microscope and you say, okay, can he be an official anymore? And I think the answer is probably no. And I think you move on from him. You know, sorry, make an example out of him. I mean, sometimes there's got to be a sacrificial lamb every now and then.
I just don't get how you screwed that up.
And that would be a good one.
So bad because there's you see the video of Decker and Sewell going up to the official and talking to him. Like, I can't imagine they're going up and saying, "Hey, what are your plans for New Year's?
How was Christmas?"
You know, he's got it. And you see right as they're before they walk up to him, there's another clip that you see them in the huddle, and Goff taps Decker, grabs him by the back, and says, "Go, go." And then Decker leaves the huddle and walks over to the ref. So clearly, Goff was saying, "Make sure you go check in."
The other thing is there's microphones all over the place in these things. You know what I mean?
The refs wear them.
Yeah, and I can't believe that there is not microphone of this somewhere.
Are they going to start miking up every player?
I don't. They could. They could. I don't know. But that would solve this. I mean, what's it going to do? What's it going to come back and do? You got to move on. You won the game. You hope to see him again. You hope to see him in the NFC Championship game. But the problem is now it'll be in Dallas. The difference could have been that
this wasn't Dallas.
Well, no. Say they meet him again.
The playoff game will be in Dallas. Yeah,
that's my point.
But the Lions
could have been in Detroit.
Lions have just showed that they can beat Dallas in Dallas, though, because they did. They beat them.
Yeah,
I know.
But it's tough to beat the same team twice. That's what everyone says.
Which is where they get the luck of the draw, because technically they didn't beat them.
Yeah.
But we mean,
it's a tough one. I felt for the Lions fans on that one real bad, because you got screwed. You got hammered screwed. And man, that was not fun.
This always happens to the Lions.
No, because I was yelling. I was yelling when Decker caught that. I was like, "Yeah, man."
Shit always. The Lions are the only team this would happen to. And we have said that so many times over the years. The Calvin Johnson process catch. It was like, this is the only team this would happen to. Happens to the Lions. When that Seahawks linebacker punched the ball out of the back of the end zone. It was like Monday night. It was Seahawks-Lions, and Calvin Johnson fumbled the ball, and it popped up in the air, and the Seahawks linebacker punched it, and it went through the back of the end zone, and it should have been Lions ball. It should have been Lions ball touchback, but they gave the ball back to the Seahawks, and that's another one. It was like that. Only that would happen to the Lions. There's 3 or 4 other cases that I know I'm missing. Where the one pass interference call in the playoffs against the Cowboys, where they didn't call pass interference.
The one I love was the Justin Forsett on Thanksgiving.
Jim Schwartz threw the challenge flag.
Yeah, he's like, but because you threw the challenge flag, it negates the review of the play.
Yep.
It's like, and then they changed that rule after that. It's like Lions always got to find these obscure rules, and then the official's like, oh yeah, that's rule 28.50J. And it's like, what the fuck? And that
was probably the dumbest one, because that was Thanksgiving. It was against the Texans, and the guy had it was like a 70-yard touchdown run, and had he not thrown the challenge flag, it would have automatically been reviewed
because it was a scoring
play. And all scoring plays get reviewed, so it would have been reviewed if he didn't throw the challenge flag. But because he threw the challenge flag and wanted them to review it,
he got overzealous and just threw
they picked up the challenge flag and said, "Well, it's already going to get challenged because it's a scoring play. But since you threw the flag to challenge it, now we can't review it."
Yeah,
and it's like, what?
Yeah. Oh, it was exactly like that. Like, what?
Only the Lions.
Yeah,
only the Lions.
What does that make? You're going to review it anyway. I threw the challenge flag. Sorry. Jeez.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Charge me a timeout for throwing it. Yeah. If you must, charge me all 3 of my timeouts. I don't care. Just review it and see that it wasn't a touchdown and that his knee was down.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's just another notch in the belt for the Lions finding a way to change the league. All players are going to be mic'd up from now on next season because of this. Or all officials.
Or they will make you, the officials say every time, go back to saying, and then there's no doubt, like if he would have said number 70 reports, Dan Campbell would have said, no. They would have stopped him and said, no, 68 reports. But no,
But
know, he
Skipper
didn't
couldn't have
announce
reported.
that.
Skipper, and they explained it to Campbell, or Campbell said it in the press conferences. They said that 70 reported, 68 did not. Why would 70 report? He was lined up at right guard. He wasn't even at one of the tackle positions. I don't think a guard can even
he
report.
was on the outside.
No, it was Sewell was on the right side at right tackle, and because they're not going to have Sewell line up at guard.
No.
It was Sewell at right tackle and Decker at left tackle. In 70, Skipper was lined up at
I
guard.
thought Glasgow was that guard position. And then Skipper was on the right side of Sewell.
Skipper was at guard somewhere. It was right guard or left guard. He was lined up at guard somewhere. He wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was at right guard.
All right.
But he didn't. So why would he check in to begin with if he's not one of the ends on the tackles? Like it would make no sense.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe. I agree with you. Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And like, and I thought he was lined up on the right side of Sewell on the outside.
I don't know. We might need to look at it again. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Anyway, though, I mean, irregardless, but
They lost the game.
yeah, you lost the game. But it's one of those ones where you played well enough to win, and you should have won the game. So you got one more left against Minnesota.
That's a win.
That's a win, and then
Minnesota's getting hammered by Green Bay right now, 17-3.
you know,
At home.
You're kind of window watching next week because the Niners and the Rams play, and the Rams gotta win that game.
Hey, the Eagles did lose to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
today.
the Eagles lost to the Cardinals today.
So I think you want the Cowboys to lose next week again.
Who do they play?
I don't know. You can pull it up, but I think if the Cowboys lose and the Lions win, I think that the Lions could still get the 2 seed. I think. But the Niners pretty much got the 1 seed.
They play Washington, and Washington's lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, Washington stinks. Well, brother, we could do I don't know if we need to do a Lions-Vikings pregame
No,
for next
I
week.
think you're just kind of looking at more of a playoff, like preview, I guess. Playoff positions and scenarios. You know, that's kind of like. But you really need like this week to finish, and
We'll do a post game against the
you need
Vikings.
next week to play out.
Yeah. Well, till then, Smith boys, out.
Keep it up. I'm a nigga.